Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube station, and we are going to continue our tournament of the best franchise teams of the 1970s, one and done. In this matchup coming from Yankee Stadium today, it's going to be the number 3 New York Yankees of 1977 versus the number 6 seeded Milwaukee Brewers of 1978. The Milwaukee Brewers finished 93 wins and 69 losses in 1978. They did not make the playoffs, and in 1977, the New York Yankees finished 100 wins and 62 losses. They went on to win the World Series behind Billy Martin as their manager. Let's quickly go to the lineups here. On this October evening, it's 58 degrees, clear skies, winds 10 miles in from center field. So it might be a task to hit one out today. Lots of power hitters in this game, though. Leading off for the Milwaukee Brewers, Cecil Cooper. He's playing first base. Batting second, the third baseman Sal Bando. Batting third, the left fielder Ben Ogilvie. Batting fourth, the designated hitter Larry Heisel. Batting fifth, the shortstop Robin Yount. Batting sixth, the right fielder Sisto Lescano. Batting seventh, the second baseman Paul Molitor. Batting eighth, the center fielder Gorman Thomas. And batting ninth, doing the catching, Charlie Moore. On the mound for Milwaukee, Mike Caldwell. He won 22 games in 1978 for the Brewers. And now for the Yankee lineup. Leading off, Mickey Rivers. He'll be playing center field. Batting second, the second baseman Willie Randolph. Batting third, the designated hitter Lou Piniella. Batting fourth, Mr. October himself, playing right field, Reggie Jackson. Batting fifth, the third baseman Greg Nettles. Batting sixth, the catcher Thurman Munson. Batting seventh, the left fielder Roy White. Batting eighth, the first baseman Chris Chambliss. And batting ninth, Bucky Dent, playing shortstop. On the mound for the Yankees, Ed Figueroa. Ed Figueroa in 1977 for the Yankees, 16 wins, 11 losses, no saves, ERA of 3.57. Struck out 104, walked 75, batting average against 252. His battery mate, Thurman Munson, excellent catcher. At third base, Greg Nettles, another superb fielder. At shortstop, Bucky Dent, above average. Willie Randolph at second. Good, solid second baseman, 7 out of 10. And another wonderful fielder at the corner position at first base, Chris Chambliss. In left field, Roy White, 8 out of 10 defensive range, can go get the ball with the best of them. Very poor throwing arm, 3 out of 10, excuse me. Mickey Rivers, another, when it comes to defensive range, excellent outfielder, 8 out of 10, but another poor throwing arm, 4 out of 10, excuse me. And Reggie Jackson, 6 out of 10 for range, so that's above average, and a very good arm, 7 out of 10. So once again, this is a one and done playoff series tournament. If you haven't caught any of the earlier games and you'd like to, they're on demand now on my channel, so check them out. They're a lot of fun to play. I will play as the visiting team, Milwaukee Brewers. They are the number 6 seed, so I play as, however you want to interpret it, I play as the higher seed. The Yankees are the lower seed, seed number 3. And due up first for the Milwaukee Brewers, first baseman Cecil Cooper. And in 1978, Cooper batted .312, 13 home runs and 54 RBIs. Munson goes through the signs, the windup and the pitch by Figueroa. And Cooper sends that ball out to right field, and Jackson tracks it down near the corner for the first out of the inning and the ball game. Hello, the Cubs, the Bears. How you doing, my friend? This is our one and done tournament. Lots of good games here. I manage as the higher seed, the Brewers. The computer is managing the lower seed Yankees. So one out, and Sal Bando, the Brewers' third baseman, comes to the plate. Bando in 1978 batted .285, 17 home runs and 78 RBIs. Righty-righty matchup here. Bando hit .287 off right-handed pitching. And Figueroa is susceptible to right-handed batters, as he gave up a batting average against righties .278. Figueroa peers in at Munson. He toes the rubber. He sets and delivers to Bando. And Bando grounds to Dent, who throws to Chambliss. So that's the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down. Once again, we have the Cubs, the Bears in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope all is well. 2 outs, no one on. Ben Oglivie steps to the plate. Oglivie, the Brewers' left fielder, batted .303 in 1978, 18 home runs and 72 ribbies. Lefty-righty matchup here for Figueroa. Figueroa fared much better against left-handed batters, only a .228 batting average against. Oglivie hit .309 off righty. Figueroa sets and delivers to Oglivie. And Oglivie sends that ball deep out to Jackson, who tracks it down near the warning track for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down, no score. We go to the bottom of the first. Due up for the Yankees, Mickey Rivers, Willie Randolph, and Sweet Lou Piniella. Mickey Rivers in 1977 for the Yankees batted .326, 12 home runs, and 69 RBIs. He'll be facing on the mound for the Brewers Mike Caldwell. Caldwell in 1978 for the Brew Crew. 22 wins, 9 losses, 1 save, ERA 2.36, struck out 131, walked 54, batting average against .234. Excellent year for Mike Caldwell. Battery mate Charlie Moore, average defensive catcher with an above-average arm. Sal Bando at third, above average. Robin Yount, very good shortstop. Paul Molitor, above average at second base. And Cecil Cooper, an excellent fielding first baseman. In left field, you have Ben Oglivie, 6 out of 10 range. Very good arm of a 7. In center field, Gorman Thomas, 7 out of 10 range. Very good. Very poor arm, though, 4 out of 10. And in right field, Sixto Lescano, 9 out of 10 range, 8 arm. Absolutely wonderful outfielder. So Mickey Rivers steps to the plate, left-handed batter. Caldwell fared very well against left-handed batters. He only gave up a 160 batting average. Rivers hit .322 off righties. Moore goes through the signs, the windup, and the pitch to Rivers. And he strikes out. So Caldwell starts off the game with a K. Now up, Yankees second baseman Willie Randolph. Randolph in 1977 batted .274, 4 home runs, 40 RBIs. And off left-handed pitching, .306. Caldwell gave up a .262 batting average against righties. Caldwell peers into Moore, gets the sign. He sets and delivers to Randolph. And Randolph grounds it to Molitor, over to Cooper. 2 up, 2 down, and now Sweet Lou Piniella, the Yankee designated hitter, comes to the plate. Sweet Lou in 1977, and a very sweet year for Lou. .330 batting average, 12 home runs, 45 RBIs. Piniella against left-handed pitching, crushed it at .366. So it's going to be Caldwell's 160 versus Pinella's 366. Let's see who comes out on top. Caldwell, the windup and the pitch to Pinella. And Pinella sends that ball out to Lascano. He catches it for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the second. No score. 2 up for the Brewers. Larry Heisel, Robin Yount, and Sisto Lascano. Larry Heisel in 1978 for the Brew Crew hit .290, 34 home runs, and 115 RBIs. Against right-handed pitching, he batted .283. Again, that's Figueroa's weakness, right-handed batters, as he gave up a .278 batting average against righties. Figueroa on the mound. Gets a sign from Munson. He sets and delivers to Heisel. And Heisel sends that ball out to White, who makes a running catch towards the left field line for out number 1. 1 out. Robin Yount comes to the plate. The Brewers shortstop batted .293 in 1978. 9 home runs, 71 RBIs. Batted .284 off right-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch to Yount. And Yount pops it up. Dent in shallow. In the shallow outfield, catches it for out number 2. Nice play by Bucky Dent. 2 outs, nobody on. Now bring up Sisto Lascano, the Brewers right fielder. 1978 batted .292, 15 home runs, and 61 RBIs. Against right-handed pitching, .291. Wants to extend this inning here. Munson goes through the signs. Figueroa sets and delivers to Lascano. And Lascano works a walk. 2 outs, and Lascano's at first. And Paul Molitor, the Brewers' second baseman, comes to the plate. Molitor for the Brew Crew in 78, batted .273, 6 home runs, 45 RBIs. Lascano, 5 out of 10 for speed, 47% chance of stealing second base. Being held on by Chris Chambliss. The windup and the pitch to Molitor. And Molitor dribbles it down to Dent, who just eats the ball. Infield hit for Molitor. And now runners at first and second, 2 outs, and it brings up the dangerous power-hitting Gorman Thomas. Brewers center fielder in 1978 batted .246, 32 home runs, 86 RBIs. He did strike out a lot. Figueroa is a strikeout pitcher, 104. But if Thomas gets a hold of one, it could be 3-0 Brew Crew. Thomas batted .230 off right-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch to storming Gorman Thomas. And Thomas strikes out. So Figueroa pitches out of that jam. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score. 2 up for the Yankees. Reggie Jackson, Greg Nettles, and Thurman Munson. Jackson in 1977 for the Yankees. Batted .286, 32 home runs, 110 RBIs. Lefty-lefty matchup. Jackson batted .278 off left-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch by Caldwell. And Jackson walks. So a leadoff runner on, Reggie Jackson, 6 out of 10 for speed. 38% chance of stealing second base. Cecil Cooper holding him on. Now bring Greg Nettles to the plate, Yankee third baseman. Nettles batted .255, 37 home runs, and 107 RBIs. Against left-handed pitching, Nettles batted .251. Brewers looking to turn 2. Caldwell toes the rubber. Peers in at Moore, gets the sign. The windup and the pitch to Nettles. Nettles sends that ball to Lascano. He makes the catch on the warning track, and getting back to first base is Reggie Jackson. So 1 out, and Thurman Munson comes to the plate, the Yankee captain, their catcher. 1977, batted .308, 18 home runs and 100 RBIs. Munson batted .282 off left-handed pitching. Brewers want a twin killing to end this inning. The windup and the pitch to Munson. Jackson at first, being held on by Cooper. And that ball's ripped to Yount, and this will be a double play. Yount to Molitor to Cooper, inning over. We go to the top of the third, still no score. Due up for the Brew crew: Charlie Moore, Cecil Cooper, and Sal Bando. Charlie Moore, Brewers catcher, batted .269 in 1978, 5 home runs, 31 RBIs. .274 off right-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch by Figueroa. And Moore singles into center field. That's the Brewers' second hit of the ball game. Moore 6 out of 10 speed, 25% chance of stealing second base. Chambliss will be holding him on. And we go back to the top of the order. Cecil Cooper, he's 0 for 1 today. Cooper fly deep down the right field line in the first. Munson goes through the signs. The windup and the pitch to Cooper. And Cooper walks! So first and second, no one out, and it brings up Sal Bando. Bando's 0 for 1. Grounded to short in the first. Yankees want to turn 2 here. Figueroa toes the rubber. The windup and the pitch to Bando. And Bando walks! Bases loaded, so a leadoff single, then 2 consecutive walks. And the Yankees are in a world of trouble here, with Ed Figueroa on the mound and Ben Oglivie now at the plate. Ben Oglivie 0 for 1. Fly deep to right. Yankees infield normal. They will give up a run for the double play. Lefty-righty matchup here. The windup and the pitch to Oglivie. And Oglivie pops it up. Nettles catches the ball for out number 1. Just in foul territory. So now with 1 out, base is still loaded. Larry Heisel comes to the plate. Heisel's 0 for 1. The Brewers' designated hitter. Fly deep down the left field line. Double play will get the Yanks out of the jam here in the Bronx. Munson goes through the signals. Figueroa nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Heisel. And Heisel strikes out! Figueroa 1 out from getting out of this misery. It's now bases loaded, 2 outs, and it will be up to the Brewers shortstop Robin Yount, who's 0 for 1 right now. Fans in the Bronx are ready to cheer if they get out of this. Oglivie popped up, and then Heisel struck out, so now it's up to Yount. You have Bando at first, Cooper at second, Moore at third. Here's the pitch to Robin Yount. And Yount sends that ball deep into left center field, but Mickey Rivers runs it down, inning over. The Brewers' bases loaded, no outs, and they fail to score. We go to the bottom of the third. Still tied at 0. Due up for the Yankees: Roy White, Chris Chambliss, and Bucky Dent. Oh, the Brewers are going to rue the day that they didn't score with bases loaded, most likely. What an opportunity lost. So Roy White in 1977 for the Yankees batted .268, 14 home runs and 52 RBIs against left-handed pitching, .299 batting average. Caldwell sets and delivers, and Yount throws him out at first. 1 out, Chris Chambliss comes to the plate. Lefty-lefty matchup. Yankee first baseman in 1977 batted .287, 17 home runs and 90 RBIs. Only batted .247 against left-handed pitching. Caldwell working quickly. Here's the pitch to Chambliss. And that ball is the first hit of the game for the Yankees. A single in the right center field. Chambliss 5 out of 10 base running, 18% chance of stealing second base, being held on by Cecil Cooper. Once again, the Brewers will be looking to turn 2 for a twin killing to end the inning. Bucky Dent steps to the plate, number 9 hitter. Excellent bunter, 10 out of 10. Excellent at the hit and run, 8 out of 10. Dent in 1977 batted .247, 8 home runs and 49 RBIs. Charlie Moore goes through the signs. Here's the pitch to Bucky Dent. Dent bunts it. They go to first. They get him as Molitor covered. Chambliss advances on the sacrifice. So with 2 outs, Chambliss is in scoring position, and Mickey Rivers comes to the plate. Rivers 0 for 1. Struck out in the first. Lefty-lefty matchup. The windup and the pitch by Caldwell. Grounded to Bando, throws to Cooper, but Mickey Rivers beats it out for an infield hit. Chambliss advances to third, so Yankees on the corners. And now up Willie Randolph, Yankees second baseman, 0 for 1. RBI opportunity here. The Yankees could break out on top after the Brewers had bases loaded, no outs in the top of the third, and failed to score. Will the Yankees come through in the clutch? The windup and the pitch to Randolph. Randolph singles into left field, 1-0 Yankees. Rivers goes first to third. So where the Brewers failed to score, the Yankees do not. Let me jump to the chat real quick. Hello, Beatles Eternally, who says, death to the Yanks. How you doing, bud? So 2 outs, and Sweet Lou Piniella comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Rivers at third, Randolph at first. Randolph 7 out of 10 base runner, 32% chance of stealing second. Cooper holding him on. The windup and the pitch by Caldwell to Piniella. And Piniella dribbles one to Yount, who throws the first, but Piniella beats it out for an infield hit. The Yankees have had 2 infield hits this inning, and now another run scores, so Piniella has an RBI. Rivers scores. It's 2-0 Yankees. Rivers and Piniella have infield hits. And now Mr. October comes to the plate. Reggie Jackson. He walked his first time up. 2 outs, 2 on. Lefty-lefty matchup. Moore goes through the signs. Caldwell nods his head. Here's the pitch to Jackson. And he strikes him out, but damage done. The Yankees score 2. We go to the top of the 4th, 2-0 New York. Those infield hits were huge in that inning for the Yankees. Beatles Eternally says, doing well, Al. Hope you are well as well. Thank you very much, Beatles. Glad you could join us. Due up for the Brewers here in the top of the 4th. Sixto Lezcano, Paul Molitor, and Gorman Thomas. Lezcano walked his first time up in the second. Figueroa peers into Munson, gets the sign. The windup and the pitch. And Lezcano rips a ball off the wall, and that's going to be a leadoff double. Rivers misplayed it poorly off the wall. White was there to get to it, but it was too late. Lezcano has a leadoff double, 5 out of 10 for speed. And now Paul Molitor comes to the plate. RBI opportunity here for Molitor. 1 for 1 today. Infield single in the second. So we've seen 3 infield hits in this game so far. The windup and the pitch to Molitor. And Molitor sends that ball to Nettles, who throws the Chambliss route number 1. Lezcano was unable to advance. Now Gorman Thomas steps to the plate. The power-hitting center fielder, 0 for 1. Only batted .230 against right-handed pitching, in 1978. He's going to be taking. Here's the pitch. Ball 1. He'll take again. Strike 1. 1-1 count. Thomas ready to grip and rip. 1 swing of the bat in this game can be tied at 2. Figueroa sets and delivers to Thomas. And Thomas dribbles it to Dent, who throws to Chambliss, and Thomas beats it out. That's the 4th infield hit of the game. 2 apiece now. 2 for the Yankees, 2 for the Brewers. Runners on the corners. for the Brew Crew. Lascano at third. Thomas at first. Thomas 5 out of 10 for speed. 22% chance of stealing second base. Chambliss holding him on. And now the number 9 hitter, the Brew Crew catcher, Charlie Moore, steps to the plate. He's 1 for 1 today. Single to center in the third. Once again, Figueroa finds himself in a pickle. He pitched out of the bases loaded jam the other inning with no outs to give up no runs. Can he do it again with runners on the corner and 1 out? The windup and the pitch to Moore. And Moore grounds to Randolph, who tags Thomas. Oh, the ball hit the base runner. The ball hit, wow, what a rare play there. Let me go back through this. I'm reading through. So, Charlie Moore rips a hard ground ball between first and second. It hits the base runner. Thomas is out. Moore gets credit for a single. Wow. So, no run scores on that. The Brewers should have had an RBI, but the ball hit Thomas, so it's going to be up to Cecil Cooper with 2 outs, runners on the corner. Charlie Moore, 6 out of 10 for base speed, 61% chance of stealing second base. Chambliss is holding him on. Cooper's 0 for 1. And if you're thinking one swing of the bat to put the Brewers ahead, Cooper had 13 home runs in 1978. Fly deep down the right field line in the first, walked in the third. Figueroa sets and delivers. Cooper will take. Strike 1. In there with the off-speed pitch. No balls, 1 strike. Figueroa toes the rubber. The windup and the pitch. And Cooper strikes out. Inning over. Once again, Ed Figueroa pitches out of the jam. So that ground ball that hit Gorman Thomas cost the Brewers a run. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Yankees 2, Brewers nothing. 2 up for the Bronx Bombers. Greg Nettles, Thurman Munson, and Roy White. Nettles 0 for 1. Fly to right in the second. Lefty-lefty matchup here with Caldwell on the mound. The windup and the pitch to Nettles. And he strikes him out. Munson steps to the plate. Yankee captain, he's 0 for 1. Grounded to short in the second. Caldwell rubbing up the baseball. Now gets back on the mound. Peers into Moore. Gets the sign. The windup and the pitch by Caldwell. And that's grounded past Bando. And that's going to be a 1-out single for Thurman Munson. Munson 5 out of 10 for speed. 22% chance of stealing second base. Cooper holding him on. Once again, the Brewers look for that twin killing to end the inning. Roy White steps to the plate. Yankee left fielder's 0 for 1. The windup and the pitch to White. And that ball's grounded up the middle for a single. Runners at first and second. Yankees wanting to add to their 2-0 lead here. Chris Chambliss, 1 for 1, the Yankee first baseman. Single in the third. RBI opportunity here for Chambliss. The Yankees have taken advantage when they've had runners in scoring position, where the Brewers have not. Charlie Moore goes out to the mound, has a word with Caldwell. Now comes back behind the plate. Caldwell sets and delivers to Chambliss. And that ball is going to be a double play. So it was nubbed out in front of Moore, who quickly fired down to second. To Yount, who then threw to Cooper to end the inning. So that went 2 to 6 to 3. We go to the top of the 5th, 2-0 Yankees, 2 up for the Brew Crew. Bando, Ogilvy, and Heisel. Sal Bando's 0 for 1 today against Figueroa. The windup and the pitch. And Bando dribbles it back to the pitcher, who throws him out. Ben Ogilvy steps to the plate with 1 out. He's 0 for 2. Fly deep to right in the first and popped out to third. That's when they had bases loaded, no outs. And Figueroa got 3 consecutive outs, a pop-up, and I believe it was 2 strikeouts to get out of the inning. A huge opportunity squandered by the Brewers in the third. The Yankees came back in the bottom of the third to score 2. Munson flashed the sign. The windup and the pitch by Figueroa. And that is ripped to Jackson, and he makes the catch for out number 2. It will be up to Larry Heisel, the Brewers' designated hitter, to extend this inning. He's 0 for 2. Figueroa peers in at Munson. He sets and delivers. And Heisel works a walk. So 2 outs. Heisel's at first. 6 out of 10 for speed. 60% chance of stealing second. Robin Yount comes to the plate. Yount's 0 for 2. Pop to short. Fly to deep left center in the third. And we're going to send Heisel. There goes Heisel, the throw down, and Munson guns him out to end the inning. We try to get Heisel in the scoring position. Munson fires down. Tag applied by Dent. Inning over. So nothing's going right for the Milwaukee Brewers. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Bronx Bombers 2. Brew Crew nothing. Due up for the Yankees. Dent, Rivers, and Randolph. Bucky Dent comes to the plate. He awaits the pitch by Caldwell. Calls timeout. Dent calls timeout. Now he gets back in the box. Caldwell none too pleased with that antic by Dent. Here's the pitch to Bucky. And Dent grounds it to Cooper, who flips to Caldwell, covering the bag for out number 1. Mickey Rivers steps to the plate for the Bronx Bombers, 1 for 2. Lefty-lefty matchup. Rivers struck out in the first, singled in the third. The windup and the pitch to Mick the Quick. And that ball's grounded to out for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. Willie Randolph steps to the plate. Yankee second baseman 1 for 2. Grounded to second in the first, and had a single and an RBI, which scored Chambliss in the third. Gave the Yankees a 1-0 lead. 2 outs, no one on. The windup and the pitch to Randolph. And that ball's grounded to Yount. And they just get Randolph to end the inning. Good strong throw. Yount went to the hole to the left side and gunned the ball over to Cooper. So we go to the top of the 6th. Yankees 2, Milwaukee nothing. 2 up for the Brewers. Yount, Lascano, and Molitor. Robin Yount is 0 for 2 today. Corners are in for the Yankees. Yount 8 out of 10 bunter. Let's see if he can take advantage of this and knock the ball past one of these pulled-in infielders. He'll be taking. Here's the pitch by Figueroa. Strike 1. Again Figueroa with the first pitch strike. 88 miles per hour on that pitch. Munson goes through the signs. Figueroa sets and delivers to Yount. And Yount singles up the middle. Leadoff single for Yount. He's 8 out of 10 base runner. 44% chance of stealing second. Tying run comes to plate in Sisto Lascano. He's 1 for 1. Walked in the second. Doubled off the left center field wall in the 4th. If you're thinking one swing of the bat, Lascano had 15 home runs in 1978, 61 RBIs. The windup and the pitch. And Lascano strikes out looking on the 2-2 count. 1 out, 1 on. Paul Molitor steps to the plate. Brewers second baseman, 1 for 2. Singled in the second, grounded out in the 4th. He's a 7 for hit and run. We're going to play a little hit and run ball here. Figueroa sets and delivers. And that ball's grounded to Dent coming across the bag. Throws him out. Yount advances to second now with 2 outs. No, it was Randolph on the backhand. So Randolph throws out Molitor. Yount advances second on the hit and run. We were hoping the ball would find the hole. It almost did. Hello, Max Cornelius in the chat. How you doing? Hope all is well, my friend. Gorman Thomas steps to the plate. Thomas, 1 for 2. Again, Thomas had 32 home runs in 1978. Struck out in the second, singled in the 4th. He'd like to send a ball to the monuments here and tie this ball game up. The windup and the pitch to Thomas. And Thomas sends that ball deep, but Mickey Rivers catches it on the warning track to end the inning. Thomas just missed that one and tying the ball game up. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Yankees 2, Brewers nothing. Due up for New York, Piniella, Jackson, and Nettles. Beatles in the chat says, pretty remarkable how many Brewers were on the 82 team that played in 78. Yes, they had good teams from that time period. You know, they just couldn't, you know, they won the division finally in 82. That's when they lost in the World Series to St. Louis, I believe. Max Cornelius says he's doing good. Excellent. We always like to hear that. All right, so back to the game. Bottom of the 6th. Leading off Lou Piniella, 1 for 2. Fly to right in the first, single, infield variety, which knocked in another run and gave him an RBI. The windup and the pitch by Caldwell. And that goes to Mahler, who goes to Cooper for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 out, Reggie Jackson comes to plate. He's 0 for 1. Walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd. Lefty-lefty matchup. Caldwell working quickly. Here's the pitch to Jackson. And that ball is single into right center field. Jackson's 1 for 2. Jackson's speed, 6 out of 10. 43% chance of stealing second base. Cooper holding him on. And that brings Greg Nettles to the plate. Yankee third baseman's 0 for 2. Again, the Brewers will look for a twin killing that would end the inning. Caldwell sets and delivers to Nettles. And that ball goes deep out to Lescano. He catches the ball on the track in right field. So 2 outs. Jackson at first, and that brings up the Yankee captain, their catcher, Thurman Munson. Munson's 1 for 2 today. Grounded out in the 2nd and singled in the 4th. Charlie Moore flashes the sign. Caldwell nods his head. Here's the pitch to Munson. And that's grounded to Bander, who goes to Molitor at 2nd, inning over, forcing out Jackson. So we go to the top of the 7th, still 2-0 Yankees. Figueroa is now up to 103 pitches. He's good for 135. He's throwing right now a 6-hit shutout. Due up for the Brewers, Charlie Moore, Cecil Cooper, and Sal Bando. Moore 2 for 2 today, the Brew Crew catcher. Singled in the 3rd, singled in the 4th. Here's the pitch by Figueroa. And Charlie Moore sends that ball out to Mickey Rivers in right center field. He makes the catch for out number 1. So with 1 out, no one on, Cecil Cooper comes to the plate. Brewers first baseman's 0 for 2. Munson flashes the sign. The windup and the pitch to Cooper. And Cooper sends that ball out to left center field, and Rivers tracks that one down. So 2 up, 2 down. It'll be up to Sal Bando to extend this inning. He's 0 for 2. If you're thinking a home run for Bando, he had 17 home runs in 1978. Figueroa working on a 1-2-3 inning here. Figueroa peers into Munson. Gets the sign, nods his head. The windup and the pitch. And that ball sent out to Jackson in right field. He makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. Inning over. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 7th. New York 2, Milwaukee nothing. Hello, BP4 Gaming, my friend. How are you? Remember to check out B as in boy, P as in Paul, and the number 4 Gaming. His channel. Subscribe to his channel. He has a lot of clips from the new Transformer movies. I'll leave it at that, folks. So due up for the Yankees in the bottom of the 7th, Roy White, Chris Chambliss, and Bucky Dent. White's 1 for 2. Grounded to short in the 3rd, singled in the 4th. Caldwell sets and delivers. And that ball sent out to Thomas in right center field. He makes the catch. Out number 1. Chris Chambliss comes to the plate. Yankee first baseman's 1 for 2 today. Lefty-lefty matchups. Chambliss singled in the 3rd and then grounded to the catcher. into a double play in the fourth. Moore goes through the signs. Caldwell nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Chris Chambliss. And that ball's grounded to Cooper, takes it to first base himself. 2 up, 2 down. It's up to Bucky Dent, Yankees shortstop. He's 0 for 1 today, to extend this inning. Dent had a sacrifice bunt in the third and grounded out in the fifth. Caldwell sets and delivers. Grounded to Yount, over to Cooper, inning over, 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 8th, 2-0 Yankees. Due up for the Brewers, Oglivie, Heisel, and Yount. Figueroa is throwing a 6-hit shutout as we go to the top of the 8th. Oglivie's 0 for 3. The windup and the pitch by Ed Figueroa. And that ball's popped up. Chambliss calls for it, makes the catch in foul territory for the first out of the top of the 8th. The Yankees are now 5 outs away from advancing in this one-and-done playoff tournament. Larry Heisel comes to the plate for the Brew Crew. He's 0 for 2. Definitely has the power to pull the Brewers to within 1 run. 34 home runs in 1978. The windup and the pitch to Heisel. And Heisel pops it up. Neto's calling for it, and he makes the catch on the outfield grass. 2 up, 2 down, and it's up to Robin Yount, 1 for 3 to extend this inning. Yount popped out to short in the second, fly deep to left center in the third, and singled up the middle, in the sixth. Figueroa peers into Munson, nods his head. Here's the pitch to Yount. And Yount singles in the right center field. A 2-out single keeps the inning alive and brings the tying run to the plate in Sisto Lescano. Lescano's 1 for 2 today. Walked in the second, doubled in the fourth, struck out in the sixth. Lescano had 15 home runs in 78. He'd like to get number 16 here. Tie this ball game up, 1 swing of the bat. The windup and the pitch to Lescano. Yount being held on by Chambliss. Yount 8 out of 10 base runner. Here's the pitch. And Lescano pops it up. Randolph calls for it, makes the catch at second. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees 2, Brewers nothing. Due up for the Yankees, the top of the order, Mickey Rivers, Willie Randolph, and Lou Piniella. Rivers 1 for 3 today. Struck out in the first, had an infield hit in the third. He ended up scoring and grounded out in the fifth. The windup and the pitch by Caldwell. Grounded to Yount, over to Cooper. Out number 1. Willie Randolph steps to the plate. The Yankees second baseman's 1 for 3. Grounded out in the first, singled in the third. Has an RBI when he knocked Chris Chambliss in. And grounded out to short in the fifth. 1 out, no one on. The pitch to Randolph. And that's grounded to Bando, who throws to Cooper. And they just get Randolph. So 2 up, 2 down. Caldwell desperately wants to keep this a 2-run deficit for the Brewers, as they will be coming to bat in the top of the 9th. Do not want the Yankees to add to their lead. Sweet Lou Piniella comes to the plate. Pinella's 1 for 3. Fly to right in the first. Infield single in the third. He got an RBI when Rivers scored, then grounded out in the sixth. 2 outs, no one on. Here's the pitch to Piniella. And that's grounded to Yount, over to Cooper, inning over. The Brewers are down to their last 3 outs to tie or go ahead here in the top of the 9th. Figueroa is still on the mound. He's up to 118 pitches. He's throwing a 7-hit shutout. He's good for 135. Due up for the Brewers, Molitor, Thomas, and Moore. If anyone gets on, Cecil Cooper. Brewers must get a runner on to bring the tying run to the plate. Molitor 1 for 3. Singled in the second, grounded out in the fourth and the sixth. He'll be taking. Here's the pitch by Figueroa. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Molitor to grip and rip now. Figueroa gets a sign from Munson. He sets and delivers. And Molitor grounds it to Nettles, who throws to Chambliss, but Molitor beats it out. An infield hit. That's infield hit number 5 in this game. That's 3 for the Brewers, and the Yankees have 2. Molitor, excellent speed at first. 9 out of 10 base running. 29% chance of stealing second base. Tying run comes to the plate. The power hitting center fielder for the Brew Crew, Gorman Thomas, 1 for 3. Struck out in the second, singled in the fourth, and fly deep to center in the 6th. He just missed tying this ball game up in the 6th inning. Thomas had 32 home runs in 1978. Figueroa is now up to 120 pitches. He's still out on the mound. Thomas will take. Ball 1. Thomas in the driver's seat here. Molitor at first, being held on by Chambliss. Thomas ready to grip and rip. The windup and the pitch. And that ball is fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Munson goes out to have a word with Figueroa. Now goes back behind the plate. No outs. Molitor at first. Storm and Gorman Thomas at the plate. Figueroa on the mound, now up to 122 pitches. Yankees looking to turn 2. The windup and the pitch by Figueroa. And Thomas rips a ball off the left field wall. We have a 44% chance of scoring Molitor. We are going to say no. We'll take second and third with no outs. Whoa, I thought that should be second and third. We just got hosed. That ball looked like it went off the wall to me. Well, we have first and second with no outs. I still wouldn't send Molitor with 44% chance. So that's fine. First and second, no outs. Charlie Moore comes to the plate. Moore, 2 for 3. Excellent bunter, 7 out of 10. Excellent hit and run man, 7 out of 10. Singled in the 3rd, singled in the 4th, fly to right center in the 7th. Yankees have moved their corners in. Nettles in at 3rd, Chambliss in at 1st. Molitor at 2nd, Thomas at 1st base. We're going to put the bunt on and try to get the tying runs into scoring position. But Moore is 2 for 3. Moore's 2 for 3. Figueroa is up to 123 pitches. Moore's going to take. Let's put some pressure on Figueroa. Figueroa sets and delivers. Ball 1. Ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. Molitor at 2nd. Thomas at 1st. He represents the go-ahead run. Now the Yankee infield has moved back. Now we can drop the bunt down if we want, but I think we'll take again. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. They've moved back in now. So corners in for the Yankees. 1-1 count. Moore to swing away. Figueroa gets a sign from Munson. The windup and the pitch to Charlie Moore. And Moore sends that ball out to Rivers. He makes the catch. Molitor retreats back to second base. 47% chance on the tag up. Molitor is a 9 out of 10 base runner. Rivers is a 4 out of 10 arm, but we're not going to risk it. We're going to say no. So 1 out, and Cecil Cooper comes to the plate. Coop is 0 for 3 today. Coop is 0 for 3. Hello, Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well with you and Brody. Remember to check out Higher Ground Gaming's channel, also a wonderful sports retro channel. That's Higher Ground Gaming with Eric. So here we go, moment of truth here. First and second, we decided not to sacrifice bunt with Moore. He flew out to Rivers. Gorman Thomas is at first, Molitor's at second. Thomas represents the tying run. Cooper, the go-ahead run at the plate. 0 for 3. The windup and the pitch Cooper will take. Ball 1. Ball 1. Cooper's going to swing away. He's ahead in the count. 1 out, 2 on. Figueroa sets and delivers. And Cooper grounds to Nettles, who goes to second base for the force out on Thomas. So it's going to be 2 outs now. Runners on the corners for the Brewers. Molitor at third, Cooper at first, representing the tying run. The go-ahead run at the plate, and Sal Bando. Sal Bando is 0 for 3. Bando had 17 home runs. 17 home runs in 78. Yankees are 1 out away from advancing in this one-and-done tournament. Bando to take. Here's the pitch. Ball 1. Bando's ready to grip and rip. 2 outs. Brewers on the corner. 1 ball, no strikes. Figueroa toes the mound. Peers in at Munson. Nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Bando. And Bando sends that ball out to Rivers in left center field. Rivers squeezes it with both hands. This ball game is over. The Yankees will advance with a 2-0 win over the Milwaukee Brewers. So the 1977 Yankees defeat the 1978 Milwaukee Brewers. So the 3 seed moves on. The 6 seed goes home. The Brewers had plenty of opportunities. To put runs on the board. Bases loaded in the top of the 3rd. No outs. And they got no runs. Pop-up, strikeout. Figueroa, I believe, threw a 9-hit shutout. So let's go to the box score. Figueroa gets the win. Caldwell, the tough luck loser, he gets the loss. The Brewers are eliminated. Figueroa, the shutout, earns him player of the game. Andre Ford in the chat. How you doing, my friend? Brew Crew made it interesting. Yeah, they had opportunities, Andre. I thought about a pinch hitter. But I stuck with Bando. You know. Max Cornelius says, good effort by the Brew Crew. So, I'll be right back in 1 second. Don't go anywhere. I will be back in 1 second. Andre Ford said he's doing good. Love to hear that. I'm going to be back in a second. I'm going to put you on hold for a moment. And I am back. Thank you for your patience. All right, so let's quickly go to the box score, and I'll bring that up in a moment. Okay, another window. So we will bring the box score, take a quick look at it, and let's take a guess on how many runners the Brewers left on base. Okay, the box score will be up in a moment. We'll fit it to the screen to get a better visual. There we go. And we should be seeing the box score in a moment. Come on, box score. There we go. Higher Ground Gaming says, and of course it comes up now, Higher Ground Gaming said 12. So let's quickly look at the Brewers. Left, that cannot be right. How can they have 0 left on base? That is wrong. Let's go to batting here. Well, I think they have somehow messed up, as we obviously know they left a gazillion guys on base. Well, Action PC has decided not to keep a accurate. It's really funny how no one's left on base here, and that's an impossibility, folks. This is the first time I've run into this glitch. Everything else seems to be correct. So, they left a lot of guys on base. Andre Ford says, like the teams you picked for this. This was, I have a lot of years in this. Check play-by-play. I will, Eric. This was the 70s franchise teams, which they took the best team from each team in the 70s. And I took the top 16 teams. Now the Mets, the New York Mets of 73 were not one of the top 16 teams, but they went to the World Series, and they have Tom Seaver, Jerry Koosman, and Matlack, and Rusty Staub. So I picked them. It's my game, you know, my tournament. So I forgot who I left out. I think it was St. Louis. No, it's not St. Louis. I think St. Louis will be playing. I don't remember who I left out. But this has been a fun tournament, and we're going to continue it. I might actually, what's it, 10:23? I'll check to see. I might play the second half of this game. But, so, anyhow, we'll quickly go Cooper 0 for 4, Bando 0 for 4. Oh, there's the problem right there. First three batters, 0 for 12. Ogilvy 0 for 4. Actually, then Heisel. So they were 0 for 15, 1 through 4. And that's what killed the Milwaukee Brewers right there. Heisel 0 for 3. Yount 2 for 4. Lascano 1 for 3. Molitor 2 for 4. Thomas, who I thought was going to be a problem, was 2 for 4. Moore, the catcher, 2 for 4. 9-hit shutout for Figueroa. Yankees, infield hits. They scored their runs in the second on a big infield hit, the second run on Piniella. Rivers was 1 for 4 with a run scored. Randolph 1 for 4 RBI. Piniella 1 for 4 with an RBI. Jackson 1 for 2. Nettles 0 for 3. Munson 1 for 3. White 1 for 3. Chambliss 1 for 3. Runs scored. So you know what? We're not going to do any. This box score is not right. It's annoying me that left on base is not correct. We'll go to the pitching real quick. Caldwell went the distance, 8 innings. He did not have to pitch the 9th, obviously. Yankees won it in the top of the 9th. He went 8 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 100 pitches. Very efficient. Ed Figueroa scattered 9 hits and pitched like a magician to get out of run-scoring opportunities for the Brewers. No runs, 4 walks, 4 Ks. He gets the win. He was player of the game. Let's go to the recap. This will give us what we want here. Milwaukee, this was the huge part of the game right here. Huge part of the game. Milwaukee failed to score on a hit and 2 walks. They had bases loaded, no outs, Milwaukee. Pop-up, strikeout, strikeout. Then the Yankees come back in the bottom of the 3rd, sent 7 batters to plate, scored 2 runs on 4 hits. Willie Randolph singled, scoring a runner, made it 1-0 Yankees. And Lou Piniella had an infield single, scoring Rivers, made it 2-0. That's all the runs the Yankees needed. All the runs the Yankees needed. Then once again, Milwaukee put runners on, failed to score on 3 hits in the 4th, and they had their opportunity on the top of the 9th. Figueroa wins, Caldwell loses. Yankees advance, Brewers go home. Now, before I leave, I'm setting up, and people who are in the Beatles eternally, if you're still in the chat, he knows. But Eric and Andre and Max Cornelius, I don't know if you know. And PB4 Gaming, I don't know if you know. But on the next tournament, what I'm going to try to do is set up something where we'll take people from the chat, people who are subscribers to the channel, and I'm trying to figure out a way where 2 of the subscribers can actually play against each other, and I'll do the play-by-play where somehow you'll tell me what you want to do, and I'll just click the buttons. We'll have a little fun trying to do that. And also, if you want a team, if you're thinking of a specific team in a year, you can either put it in the comments, and I'll check if I have the team. I have most years and most teams. I'm not going to go through it all like I did last night. As Beatles will tell you, we almost went on a 2-hour stream. We had lots of fun, though. Right now, the teams we're looking at. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming says, National Pastime 3 just added a bunch of updates. I just did a video featuring them. Cool. Max Cornelius said that would be fun. Max, anyone? I mean, if you're a subscriber, it makes it easier. But you don't have to be a subscriber. It just makes it easier. It means you follow the channel. It's like a gift to all of us. I think we have a lot of fun. So, you know, subscribers is how the channel shows it's doing well. Whatever. So right now we have the 98 Braves, the 86 Red Sox. I think it's the 1912 Red Sox. That's for Ken Castro. Hope he's doing well. He usually jumps in the chat. He wasn't here tonight. Hope all is well with him. We have the 85 Blue Jays. That's for Greg Gorecki. We have the 1902 Pirates for my man, Beatles Eternally. The 1950 Phillies was another team mentioned. The 1948 Indians. The 1935 Tigers was a team I mentioned. The 82 Brewers. The 27 Yankees and the 66 Dodgers so far. Now, I want to do the Eric from Higher Ground Gaming says, could do a challenge, Al Turney. LOL. Yeah. Now, there's two ways I might do it. I might actually set up a tournament, but then Greg Gorecki messaged me when I was at work through YouTube, and he said if we could add some Negro League teams. And I thought that was a good idea. I don't have any Negro League teams in Action PC baseball. And before, if anyone gets offended about me saying Negro League teams, that's the name of the league. There's an all-African-American league. No offense meant to anybody. But I know I'll get someone leaving some sort of message in my comments saying blah, 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 and whatever, they're wrong. And I thought that was a good idea. So it's harder to set up a tournament in out of the ballpark. I can do individual games, set them up that way. I could set up a league with specific teams. That's a possibility also. I'd like to keep it in Action PC because it's easier for me to set up the tournament. They just, with Action PC Baseball 17, you click on playoffs and the 16-team tournament bracket's already there. So if anyone has a team that they'd like to add, Andre Ford, if they know the history of the sport, it should be no issue. I agree, Andre, but, you know, I use the term dink, and it just means a stupid person, doesn't mean any ethnicity. I get a few dinks every now and then, and they're annoying, and I try to, and most of the time I'm good, I ignore them, to be honest with you, but they're trying to bait me into, well, any troll's trying to bait anybody into saying something, so. But anyhow, so if anyone has a team, and I think if I take a Negro League team, if we do it, now again, Eric, do they have, I gotta check Action PC. I wish I knew, I didn't really look to see if they had the Negro League team. I think they do. I should have picked them up on sale. I do have them in Out of the Ballpark 18. I probably, if I pick a team out of there, I want to pick I want to pick Satchel Paige's team. Or Josh Gibson. Or Josh. Oh, Max Cornelius. I have the 1990 A's because I have the 1990 season. So 1990 A's. And again, well, I'm gonna. There's two ways we're gonna try to do this. Chris Anderson, who's not in the chat tonight. Oh, Eric from Higher Ground Gaming says not sure. Okay, well if they don't, we'll have to take a Jackie Robinson team then. That's sort of in honor of the Negro Leagues. Because Robinson, obviously the first gentleman to break the very unfortunate colored barrier, which was ridiculous. And if anyone knows me, two of my favorite boxers are Rocky Marciano and Joe Louis. And I don't think Joe Louis actually gets enough credit for race relations in the United States. And the way the government... I'm going to go off on a little Joe Louis rant now on how the government treated him when it came to taxes, which was bullshit. Anyway, that's the worst I'll say about that on my channel. Joe Louis, a heck of a human being. So, Beatles Eternally, another great dead ball team. I don't have 1917. Oh yeah, that is a good team though. 1917 White Sox. Now Now I'm gonna stay on a little while longer, and then I might come back with another game. But anyone in the chat now, we have Beatles Eternally. We have Eric from Higher Ground Gaming, Max Cornelius, Andre Ford. Let me go up again. BB4 Gaming was in the chat. Check out BB4 Gaming's channel. It does a nice job if you like movies. And we had early on the Cubs, the Bears. I don't think he's any longer in the chat, but thank you very much. Ooh! 80s Expos. Let me write that one down. I have the 80s. 1980s. Or 1980 Expos. Andre, is that the team that lost when Rick Monday hit the home run? They called it Blue Monday in Montreal. I remember Rick Monday hit a home run against the Expos in the playoffs for the Dodgers. I don't remember what year that was, though. 80. Who won in 80? Was 80 the strike? No, 80 was... No, that wasn't 80 because Philadelphia beat... God, was it 80? Philadelphia beat Kansas City in the World Series in 80. Oh, Max Cornelius says it was 81. That makes sense. 81 was a strike year. They had more teams in the playoffs. I remember that coming home. And they used to, I believe that was a day game because I came home from school. I'm almost positive it was a day game. I remember Monday hit. I was rooting so hard for the Expos. I love their uniforms. I love their red, white, and blue uniforms. Yeah, I didn't like when they switched to the solid blue, but I like the red, white, and blue uniforms. What? How many good players went through Montreal? It's incredible how many good players they had. So anyway, before I jump off, there's a couple of ways. I'm going to try. I'd like to do it with Skype. I'm not sure how that will work. But in worst case scenario, we can always do it if you guys have a Twitter account. Because Twitter moves faster than YouTube. YouTube, there's a delay. And we could put the opposing people. Andre Ford says, I believe he's talking about the Expos. I know he's talking about, well, I don't know, but because he's been talking about the Expos. They were a terror on the base. They were outstanding. Outstanding team. There's two ways. I think there's a sure way we can do it through Twitter where you message, not tweet, but direct message me. That way the other person doesn't know what the other person wants to do. I think the Skype thing would be the funnest way, but I don't know how to actually do it and keep my ball game up. Meaning me watching a ball game and then watching you guys and then telling me what you want to do and then without the other person hearing it. So that's the only dilemma there. Or we could have the two people who are going to play. And again, I want more than just two people. It's up to the people in the chat. You know, if Andre Ford wants to play, say he wants to play the 80s Expos. And again, we might not do this in tournament form. We might just do it like Andre we'll just say hypothetically wants to be the 80s Expos and he wants to play. So then we put him against Max Cornelius, or if Max wanted to play, who I forgot who Max. Oh, the 90. I think Max said the 1990 A's. So we could just set up an exhibition game, or one. The only thing we could set up an exhibition game, but then it doesn't keep the stats. We'd have to make a rule if we did it exhibition style that you couldn't obviously start the same pitchers 2 games in a row, you know. So we might do it tournament style, or I could set up a league with just those teams. So once we get down how we want to do it, and we can talk about it more, and feel free to leave comments even after this is over with ideas. I want this to be a fun channel, all inclusive. Let's all have fun, you know, and whether we agree or disagree on a team or players or whatever, anything, let's be cordial and have fun. Good-natured ribbing's always good. But, so again, right now we have the 1990 A's that have been added to the list and the 1980 Expos. And Beatles Eternally had another team, which was a dead ball team. And let me go back. Oh, 1917 White Sox. 1917. I don't have them, but he said something about donate. 1917 White Sox. Okay. So, what do you guys think about that? Oh, Andre Ford says, interesting. We can discuss further. Love the... Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I don't know how much a delay it's going to be, though. I mean, we might... I mean, right now the game, if we play an action PC with me getting the information, say, again, I'll use Andre Ford and Max Cornelius. as the example, them relaying me information somehow and me just clicking the buttons. You would set the lineups. You would set the lineups. Again, we can do it before we start the game, or we can do it as it's running, you know. And then we'll go from there. I just have to figure out how it works. I might do a dry run with my with one of my nephews to see how quickly the relay is. I mean, I don't think we can do it in the YouTube chat. One, there's a delay, which that's not a big deal. I think the delay is about 30 seconds. I think. I don't know. But if we do it in the chat, then it's going to be a very... Both people are going to see what's going on. I mean, it still would be fun. I mean, I could say, okay, Andre, you can pick your strategy first, and then Max Cornelius, and vice versa. But we'll figure it out. I think it's a fun idea. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming, 1993 Braves for me, Al. I don't have 1993. Eric, I'll tell you, the most years I have are usually the Red Sox making the playoffs or had decent teams. I picked teams like, I picked 1960. Again, Ted Williams last year. I'm doing that in Out of the Ballpark. I want to do that. I probably won't put any of those games on my YouTube because I'm doing it in Out of the Ballpark. So, but, you know, I'm a huge Red Sox fan, though. But, okay, 1993. I'll check to see if, I don't think I have them. I don't think that's one of those. I'll have to check to see. I don't think that was one of the teams in that package I got, though. Braves. Okay. Remember to check out Eric from Higher Ground Games channel. Very nice channel. A lot of retro gameplay. A lot of different baseball games. So we're about an hour and 11 minutes in. I'm going to go like a few more minutes, and then I'm going to stop the stream. But if you guys want, you know, think about what I've said. And again, it's just an idea. It's just something to bring us together as a baseball community. I'm a small YouTube channel. I think we have fun. I think there's good communication with everybody. We all get a chance to chat and talk. And if I can get this, I have Skype, and if I can get it up right, talking's better than typing, you know, with a couple of people. We might even, maybe we'll do a oh, the Bears, the Cubs back. Agreed. Anyone who ejects... Oh, God. Pardon me. Let me catch my breath. The Cubs, the Bears, as I always mess up his name. My dyslexia kicks in for some reason. I always put the Bears. I think it's a BC thing. I don't know. The Cubs, the Bears says, agree. Anyone who objects to Negro League when referring to baseball is just plain. I agree. But I've had some wonderful... Most of my experiences on here are absolutely wonderful with great people like yourself and everyone else in the chat, and you know, you also get the person who gets under your skin, and they're just trying to goat you into something. Higher Ground Gaming, thanks Beatles. I'm about to do another 1905 game now. Oh, cool! Check those out. Eric does it's the Tigers. Was Ty Cobb with the Tigers? I think he was with the Tigers, but he does the 1905 season on Action PC. I recommend checking them out. He has wonderful visuals. And Beatles says, Eric, I'm a huge fan of the Dead Ball era. Beatles, have you seen his videos? You probably have. They're excellent. So, oh, the Cubs, the Bears, if you're still there, what team do you want? Do you have a team that you wanted added to a list of a possible tournament with people who are subscribers of the channel or just jump in a lot in the chat? I'm trying to figure out a way where two friends in the channel would compete against each other. The 84. Ooh, 84. Damn. Do I have 84? I don't think that's a very good team though. Let's see. I know I have 81, 82, 83. Yastrzemski's last year. I don't think I have it. I don't think I have 84, but that's a very good team. 84 Tigers. I'm writing them down anyway, just in case. I have all the teams for Out of the Ballpark, so. And Eric from Higher Ground Gaming says, I'm doing more Tigers when Cobb starts. Yes, he has said that. And Beatles says they're great. They are fun. They're fun to watch. Beatles says, don't worry about teams, Al. We can cover it. Well, thank you. Okay. So if you guys have thoughts about how we want to do this, if again, I'm on Twitter, so Twitter direct message, I'm pretty sure works faster than typing in the chat. We could try that way. I'd like to do the Skype thing. I really would. I think that would be, but I don't know how I can keep Skype up and showing my game at the same time. I'm not that savvy. But we'll figure out something. It'll come after this tournament. I'd like to do it. And again, we might just, if we have enough people, say if we have, there's 6 people right now. Say we had 6 people, we might just pick 6 teams, set up a little league where everyone plays everyone once. And then, you know, for ha-has, whoever has the best record wins. And it's a simulation. You know, it's for fun. It's for fun. Every once in a while I also get, and I don't mind, it kind of makes me giggle a little bit. They'll say something like, and again, I don't care, but I care a little bit, but they'll say, oh, that guy, why did you, and I'm not talking about any of you guys here, I've had, it's comments, it was mostly like for football games, when and I'll go back to be doing some football games. I got a lot of interesting ideas for my Action PC football, and I'm going back to a boxing tournament also. I don't know if you guys are boxing fans. I don't know if I want to do a heavyweight boxing tournament, which has been overkilled many times, or a middleweight boxing tournament with retired boxers. But yeah, I welcome all comments, even if it's pointing out something I did wrong. That's fine. I actually like those. I like I'll have like the Cubs, the Bears. He helps me with the pronunciation. Sometimes I butcher names. I don't know how to pronounce them. And Greg Gorecki helps me out a lot. He helps me out. Greg Gorecki helps me a lot with my boxing stuff, getting certain things. I'm a big boxing fan. I have a lot of knowledge about, but sometimes I don't know who the I like to get the accurate cornerman and cutman. Beatles Attorney says do middleweights. Yeah, I've been wanting to do that. First, I was just going to do a Marvin Hagler versus Carlos Monzon fight, because I've always gotten into an argument with a couple of people. I thought Hagler, to be honest, would destroy Monzon. I know Monzon was real good. I've watched some fights, actually more than some fights on YouTube. I still think Hagler would have done him in. Andre Ford, boxing, welterweight or middleweight? Yeah, those are 2 good weight classes. I'm leaning towards middleweight, though, because heavyweight's overdone. And the thing with heavyweights, that's the one division. I mean, if you kept it up until the mid-'80s, pretty much, Rocky Graziano. My dad has his boxing gloves signed. Yeah. Rocky Graziano's a fun character, God rest his soul. Very nice, very nice man. Grew up the tough way, and he turned himself around. You know, as a lot of boxers do, regardless of ethnicity, you know. But, you know, he turned himself around. So boxing's good with that, you know. The thing with heavyweights, when you get... See, again, I'm a huge Joe Louis fan, huge Rocky Marciano fan, okay? I always wonder, okay, Joe Louis weighed 190, 195 maybe, and I can go back and look at it, but he was under 200 pounds almost for every fight. That's the heavyweight back then, okay? They had some really big guys, but not, they were about 190, and they had other guys who were a little bigger. Marciano weighed in 183, okay? I always wonder, it'd be tough, as much as I hate to say this. You know, they fight a Klitschko, and by no means do I think the Klitschkos are better than Joe Louis or Rocky. Again, it's just the Klitschkos are very good. Their size is just so big. I still think if Joe Louis hits someone on the chin, they're going. If Rocky Marciano hits you on the chin, you're going. You're going. But you'd have to hit him, and it's always, and then you get the whole thing with the, you know, oh, you're rooting for that guy because blah blah blah. And you know what? Root for who you want to root for. I don't, you know, that's why it's sports. You know, so, but I think the heavyweight thing's been overkilled. I like what Beatles and Andre Ford. I like the middleweights because I'm a big Hagler fan. I like Rocky Graziano, Tommy Hearns. Though Tommy Hearns with the game, I have a game called Title Bout Boxing, and that's what I'll use for the simulation. And if anyone knows of another good boxing sim game, Not like Fight Night, which was a fun game, but I mean a pure sim. The only one I've really come across that I liked was Title About Boxing, and they don't make it anymore. I mean, you can buy the old version still, but there's no new versions coming out. That the project fell off the floor when the new company bought it. Because I actually messaged the gentleman because I had a question. They were kind enough to email me back. That's the game I'm going to use for the simulation. Ooh, Andre has Title About Boxing. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's a very fun game. If you're a boxing fan, you can use your imagination so much in that game. I've played a gazillion games. I put a few online, or I like calling them. Lots of fun. I simmed a game. Well, it's a game. I simmed about between a past his prime Rocky Marciano coming out of retirement in 1959 to fight Ingemar Johansson. I'm not going to tell you how it went. I've been trying to work. It's taken me a while, and I kind of fell away from the project. I got a lot of clips off YouTube, and I was clipping them together to make the fight look like a fight. But I need a better editing tool than the YouTube editor manager. It takes a long time. So, oh my god, I've done a ton of fights. That is so much fun, that game. I mean, even if you don't want to watch the little guys whack each other and read everything, you can just set up fights, and I like to watch the little guys whack each other. And yes, Johansson had a glass jaw. That's the one fight. Rocky Marciano said he would never come out of retirement because if the great Joe Louis couldn't do it, then I'm not going to do it. Okay? But Lou Duva, who's since passed away, I read a lot about Rocky Marciano and Joe Louis and other fighters also. Marciano was actually offered that fight in secret, or he thought about it. Oh, Andre Ford, look at paperboxing.com. Okay. Let me write that down, Andre. Thank you. Paper. Is that a downloadable game, Andre? Oh. That fight's on YouTube. You've probably seen it. The Cubs, the Bears. They fought 5 times, I think. Robinson and LaMotta. Robinson beat him 4. LaMotta, I met him at a Rocky Marciano fundraiser function for scholarships back in the early 90s. And he would tell that joke, I fought Sugar Ray Robinson so many times, it's a surprise I don't have diabetes. Oh, no, it's online. Okay. Paper boxing. Oh, is this the one where they actually flip the cards, Andre? Like the old school title bout game, which I had? I think I've seen, if that's it, I think I've seen it, .com. Anyway, Rocky Marciano. Oh, cool. Open another tab and check it out. I shall. Let me just finish this quick story on Rocky Marciano. I appreciate everyone listening to my chat as I moved off on the boxing. I love boxing. I love baseball, too. I love all sports, but boxing's my favorite. Rocky Marciano went into training secretly with Lou Duva, and I forgot who else he said, for like 4 weeks. And Lou Duva said he got himself in pretty good shape, and he goes, are you going to do it? And Marciano said, no, because I can't get where I want. I'm not what I used to be. And so there was a glimmer of thought that they were going to make that fight in I want to say it was, obviously it was going to be before the Floyd-Patterson rematch. And to this day, I always wonder, had Marciano took that fight, again, he's not going to be in his prime. Again, I understand he was a pressure fighter, and it was his stamina and his endurance that helped him win fights. But he hit really hard, and the last thing to go is your punch. But I always wondered, as what Beatles said, had he took that fight and just somehow tagged, because Johansson was now again, not to denigrate Ingemar Johansson, he was actually, his hands were much quicker than people thought. He was really awkward though. And the thing when he beat Patterson, I think Patterson actually, and his corner and his people and Custom, I think they actually underestimated Ingemar Johansson, you know, because because Patterson briefly lived in Springfield, Massachusetts, an area where I'm from, and I met him. He was at a Marciano function. Very nice man, God rest his soul, and he was fun to talk to. It was really fun to talk to. I've met a lot of nice boxers over the years, and they're very down to earth, most of them. I mean, you get your occasional, like with anyone in the walk of any life, not nice person, but most of them, very nice gentlemen. But Ingemar Johansson, he was awkward. He could hit hard, and his hand speed was a little faster again than what people thought. I always wondered. I mean, if he fought Sonny Liston would have killed him. Would have chopped him up. That's why he never fought Sonny Liston. You know. Then a lot of people avoided Sonny Liston. I often wondered, you know, had Marciano come back and took that fight, but he said he told Lou Duva told the story before he passed away. I think it was on ESPN Classic when they were doing a Rocky Marciano thing. He said, because Duva said, "But you're in good shape," and he says, "Yeah, but I'm not like I used to be." So he never took the fight, which is probably smart, you know. If you don't think you're not what you want to be, then you're not what you want to be, you know. But I always wondered about that fight since I was a very young person when I've heard people talked about supposedly. And then there were rumors like in the early 60s for him to come out of retirement to fight Sonny Liston, which would have not been good because, I mean, he would have been well past his prime by then. 59, if he came out in 59 or late 58, I'd have to look up the time period. He's only 3 years out of boxing, you know. So, but, you know, there's talk of, when was it, 61 to go fight Liston? That would have been crazy. Again, I'm not saying who's going to win that fight, but I mean, I know Liston in his prime against Marciano past his prime. I know who's going to most likely win that fight. I'm not saying prime versus prime. Beetle Eternally says, "Here's one, Al. Do you think Liston threw?" No. I'm going to tell you why. I've heard this a lot, and again, that's someone's opinion, and if it's yours, that's fine. Yes, the Phantom Punch. If you watch that punch, and again, I was more of a Joe Frazier fan, and that was in, you know, originally the rematch of Ali Liston 2. The rematch was supposed to be in Boston at the Boston Garden. Liston was in tremendous shape, and Ali got hurt. And then they moved the fight to Maine, Lewiston, Maine, and it's an old hockey rink, I believe it was. Now, the Phantom Punch, if you go back and you can watch it on YouTube, Liston's head goes, when he gets hit, and the other, I'll tell you two quick things, and you can look it up on YouTube and have your own opinion. This is just my opinion. Ali caught him with that punch. Liston's head goes down. Like, you can't fake that. I'm not saying that. He caught him with a punch, and I agree with Angelo Dundee. And again, believe me, I met Joe Frazier, and I met Muhammad Ali again. Muhammad Ali was ill. Was a big Joe Frazier fan. God rest both their souls. So I'm biased towards Joe Frazier. I admit that. That being said, Ali was a great fighter, one of the best of all times, if not the best. Probably Sugar Ray Robinson, the best of all time, pound for pound. That's why they came up with pound for pound, but I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, so Ali, he hit him. He definitely hit him. You can see, Liston's chin goes down. You can't fake that. It's impossible. I mean, in wrestling, they don't do that good of a job. You know? He goes down. What people don't know, what a lot of people don't realize, Jersey Joe Wilcott, I mean, they realize this. Jersey Joe Wilcott, the former heavyweight champion, was the referee of that fight in Lewiston, Maine. Liston goes down. Wilcott gets confused trying to get Ali to go in the corner. Now, when a fighter goes down, the timekeeper starts to count. Okay? Here's where they messed up the rule, in my opinion. And again, Ali would have probably beat him anyway. I mean, again, he won the fight fair and square. Oh, cool, Andre Ford. Again, no knock against Ali. So if someone's an Ali fan, don't come and call me a racist and stuff like that. My God, just because I like a different fighter. Because that's happened to me too, which is mind-boggling to me. Because I like Joe Frazier. I don't get it, but whatever. Okay, whatever. We have those dinks out there. Okay, so you guys are boxing fans. When a fighter goes down, the timekeeper immediately picks up the count. The referee then will look for the count. And if the referee picks up, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the count goes off the referee's count. If the timekeeper's at 4 and the referee picks up the count at 2, that's the count. It's not the timekeeper's count anymore, because the fighter's only looking at the referee. So there was confusion, and if you go back and look, Ali's running around, and Wolcott's trying to get him to the corner, and Liston's still laying on the ground. And what Liston said, and it made sense, and again, look it up, read yourself, I'm just giving you my opinion. Okay, Liston says, I kept waiting for a count. I kept waiting for a count. He gets up. He does not end the fight on the canvas. A lot of people think he ended the fight on the canvas. He got up. He started to fight again. There's film footage of it. And then the timekeeper comes up and says, I counted 10. And Wolcott waves the fight off. And I love all the old school fighters. I think the timekeeper does not have that is not, again, I'm pretty sure I'm right. That's not the rule. The rule is, and if someone can correct me, that's fine. The rule is, in my belief, you pick up the count of the referee. The fighter is not looking at the timekeeper. That is the timekeeper just starts the count, so the referee knows once he brings the fighter to once they have the neutral corner rule, which came about in the late 20s, I believe, right? In the Jack Dempsey era, they changed the rule. You could no longer hover over the fighter, and as soon as he got up, hit him again. Okay? So they changed the rule. They changed the rule. The timekeeper starts the count as soon as a fighter goes down. But it's the referee's count. Again, the referee might not pick up the count correctly. Okay, so that points out. People think Liston finished the fight on the canvas. That's not true. He was up and he was covering up it's on YouTube. I love YouTube. You can watch all kinds of fights. And that's it. And again, Ali was going to beat him. Okay? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people think. I do think it was a punch. If he was throwing the fight, he would have never got up. No. And Ali was like, oh, get up, get up. I understand. He would have never got up. If you're throwing a fight, you're not going to get up. Okay? And I'm just going to go back to let's flash forward now in time. Flash forward. Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson. People said, oh, that was a long count. No, it's not. Regardless of who you liked in that fight, let's look at it objectively. Buster Douglas was beating Tyson. Tyson came back with a tremendous combination, his best punches of the fight, and knocked Douglas down. Okay? Again, the fighter only looks at the referee to pick up the count. Okay? So, again, the timekeeper's count was ahead of the referee's count. I don't know how fast he was counting. I'm not even saying if he was counting fast. I'm saying when they try to screw Buster Douglas out of that fight, which they did try to, okay? Buster Douglas won that fight fair and square. He fought the fight of his life. His mother had passed away. He trained, God rest her soul. I was in tears when I found that out, okay? It was such a heartwarming story. Tyson, at that point in time, was no longer very likable. And again, he played up the bad guy image. Okay, that's his prerogative. But, again, when Buster Douglas, so I'm just giving you two examples, and feel free, I'm going to jump into a lot of good stuff going on in the chat, and I'll get to it in a second. Douglas only has to go off the count of the referee. That's fact. The referee never reached 10. Douglas was on his... The big point, I had friends telling me the fight was fixed. Okay, I'm sitting there going, so let's go back in history again, that same fight. Mike Tyson was in line to fight who for huge money? Let's see if anyone remembers. Evander Holyfield. And they're talking about splitting $50 million apiece. That's 5-0 and a bunch of zeros after it. People were telling me, Mike Tyson threw the fight for $2 million. Why would you throw a fight for $2 million when you're going to make $50 million? Do the math, people, like the donut commercial says. Do the math. Again, silly people who want to... I'm not saying, hey, root for the guy. I'm not saying not to root for the guy, but don't come up with excuses why he lost. You throw a fight for $2 million when there's a 50. It was either 25 million or 50. I can't remember. It was huge money. Both fighters were going to get guaranteed money. Evander Holyfield was sitting in the crowd and he watched his payday at the time go away in Japan. Okay, so my point being is Douglas goes down. Go back and watch the fight film. Go back and watch the fight film. Douglas pounds the canvas with, I think it's his right hand. The glove to the canvas going, I got caught with that punch. He got up before the 10 count. End of story. End of story. And then he knocks Mike Tyson out. So when they try to come back the next day and say, oh yeah, he was out for 10. No. I don't care if the timekeeper counted to 72. It doesn't count. It's the referee's count that matters. So that's just being said. Again, and that goes, now let's go to the past. It all goes back to Jack Dempsey and Gene Tunney when they changed the rule. Dempsey's losing again, and this was a weird time in boxing. They changed championship fights from 50. I mean, they had some championship fights that were 25 rounds, or boxing matches that were 25 rounds, and they changed in this brief period of time. I want to say it was only the Tunney-Dempsey fights that were 10-round championship fights, which was really bizarre. I never found out why they did that, and I really have to look into that a little more. If anyone knows why they did that, so I definitely know the second fight was 10 rounds. I'm pretty sure the first fight was 10 rounds when Dempsey lost his title. So Dempsey's coming off his loss. He's very popular. One of the kings of sports then. Back then, sports were boxing and horse racing. Think of that. Those are the two most popular sports, boxing and horse racing. Baseball has not yet hit it. Baseball is getting popular. Football was not popular at all. Basketball wasn't. I don't even think basketball was around then. And hockey, it was boxing and horse racing. So Dempsey knocks him down, but they had changed the rule. Andre Ford, Tunney Dempsey was one of the all-time matches. Yeah, it's strange, Andre, why they fought 10 rounds. I never understood that. But let me quickly jump in the chat because I said I was going to, and I apologize. Let's go back in the chat. And Beatles Eternally says, Ali is my favorite fighter, but I've always been curious about that fight. Well, yeah, good curiosity. Me personally, Beatles, as I just went on, probably went too long on my long-winded explanation, but I don't think listening through the fight at all. No. Max Cornelius says Joe Frazier was awesome. That was my comment. I think he's commenting to I was a big Joe Frazier fan. And again, that's just who I liked. I thought Frazier was a very workmanlike guy, a very nice guy. I thought Ali shot his mouth off a lot, but he backed it up. See, there's a difference. When people try to imitate Ali's fights, not all of them, but most of them were good fights. And Ali could knock you out when he had to. Even at an advanced age, he could punish you a bit. And Ali in his prime was absolutely outstanding. There was a fighter. Oh yeah, Andre Ford, the Fighting Marine versus the Manasseh Assassin or Mauler. I never heard of the Assassin. I kind of like that better than the Manasseh Mauler. But yeah, Ali against. And I'll quickly say this. Look up Ali versus Cleveland Williams. And again, Cleveland Williams is past his prime. Never would have beat Muhammad Ali anyway in his prime. Cleveland Williams was a big puncher. He fought Sonny Liston twice. Liston knocked him out twice. But they were kind of good action fights, short and brutal and violent. They're both on YouTube. I want to say the second one's a little more exciting than the first, I believe. Because I think... I could be getting the fights mixed up. But in one of those Liston... wow, I just went brain dead. In one of the Liston fights with Cleveland Williams, it just came back to me, Williams rocks him early in the first round, or at a point in the first round. And I want to say Liston in that fight stopped him in the second or the third. So, But if you look at Muhammad Ali, Beatles, and unfortunately, look up Cleveland Williams. He plays pinata with his head, his hands, and in his foot speed in his hand. I think that was the best he ever looked on any night. Not to say that he didn't look great on other nights. It just was, my God. I felt bad watching that fight on YouTube. Because, I read about it. And the beauty of YouTube, people post fights all the time. It's just wonderful to watch. If you're a boxing fan, you can. Boxing's the one sport, except for heavyweights. It's tough now to compare heavyweights because of size. But boxing's the one sport. You can say a guy from the 50s, and you can compare him. Now, again, you have to take into the training. And let me throw this out there to the chat as we've now moved to boxing chat. As people are going to be like, what the heck is this about? I don't like the weigh-in before the day of the fight. I don't like this whole rehydration thing, guys coming in. If you're supposed to make the 160 weight, you shouldn't come in the ring at 175. That's mind-boggling to me. You're no longer a middleweight. You're a light heavyweight. I think you have to make weight. I understand you're going to come in the night of the fight. You're going to be heavier than the weight. You're going to put a little weight. But I'd amaze. Roy Jones Jr. perfected it. He was the first fighter I remember doing it. He was a middleweight, and he'd come in, and he looked huge. He'd come in about 168, 170. This is before anyone started to do it. Now, I watch fights with my dad now, and my dad goes, what are those guys, light heavyweights? And I'll say, no, those are middleweights. He goes, you got to be kidding me. And I said, well, they were middleweights when they weighed in yesterday, and somehow they ballooned up, 10, 12 pounds. I don't know how they do it, but I don't like that rule. I think it's an unfair advantage to fighters who are really much bigger. They somehow get down in weight. I don't know how they do it, and then they rehydrate. It's incredible to me, and it's probably very dangerous, so you get, I'm not a big fan of that, but yeah, check it out, Beatles. Really good stuff. Really, there's a lot of Muhammad Ali fights out there, a lot of Joe Frazier fights, almost every Rocky Marciano fight that's oh, Greg Gorecki, my good friend Greg Gorecki, how you doing? Love Greg Gorecki. I love everyone. Greg Gorecki is my big, like I said earlier, he helps me out a lot with the boxing. He actually he was co-promoter of the Chevalo Shavers fight. Greg Gorecki says, totally agree. It is still same day weigh-in in Ontario and Quebec. I agree. Oh, where were you, Greg? I hope you had a good day. He says he just got back. I just don't like the way. I don't. Greg, how do they? I mean, I know how they do it, but it amazes me. How do they do that? How do they put on? Some guys put on 20 pounds. It's mind-boggling to me. It's a total. Sometimes it's a total. I mean, if both guys do it, okay. I still don't like it. You're not really fighting at your weight class. You should be a light heavyweight. Go to light heavyweight and fight. But yeah, that's my little stuff. I like boxing. I think boxing's a good sport. I think it shoots itself in the foot a lot of times, but I think it's a good sport. I think the bad decisions, and I'll just give you a couple of recent ones. Andre Ward and Kovalev, and before anyone listening later, I don't think anyone in this chat will do it, calls me a really bad name. I picked Andre Ward in both fights. Look it up. I was on What's Blazing in Sports. I picked him in the second fight. I picked him to stop Kovalev. It's on his YouTube page, so I don't want to hear any nonsense about I'm a blah blah. Okay, but in the first fight, I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I picked the winner. I thought Kovalev beat him. Okay, in a close fight. I thought Ward in that fight underestimated Kovalev's hand speed and boxing ability. What people underestimate about Ward is he's really tough, which I already knew. And he fights a very cute way. I'm not going to say dirty, because I don't think it's dirty. He just fights cute. He's very physical on the inside. And he does these little things that are really old school, in my opinion. And he works the body. A lot of fighters don't work the body anymore. Anyway, in the rematch, What's Blazing in Sports, that's a YouTube channel. And he does a wonderful job. And he's very nice. And he does, like, he'll do 20-minute live shows. And if you don't catch him live, you can catch him on replay. And he likes comments. And he always replies back to the comments. And what I had said, I was in his chat live. And then I later went to leave the comment. I said in the second fight, I thought Ward would win. And I told him why. I said, yeah, Kovalev could hit him, and anyone can get knocked out in boxing. I thought Ward wouldn't be surprised this time. He knows what the hand speed was, and he knows how strong in the boxing ability, and how hard he can punch. He's not going to get caught again. I mean, you can. Again, it's boxing. I said what I didn't like about Kovalev was, and again, I thought I picked Ward in the first fight, meaning I actually had the winner, but I didn't think he won. I thought Kovalev won by 2 points. What concerned me about Kovalev in the first fight was there's either two things after the first fight. I thought he took the pedal off the metal, meaning he didn't go to finish Ward. He kind of slowed down, so he either got tired or Ward's constant infighting and little cuteness and hitting him to the body wore him out, you know? So, that's how I picked Ward in the second fight. And with that note, we have gone from baseball to boxing, and I've totally enjoyed it, but I see we're about an hour 45 in. It's 11:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA. I'm going to say thank you very much to Greg Gorecki, who joined us, Beatles Eternally, Andre Ford, Max Cornelius, the Cubs, the Bears, Eric from Higher Ground Gaming, BP4 Gaming. Check out his channel. Check out What's Blazing in Sports also. And if you guys have anything on YouTube, please tell me. I love to share. I'm big about sharing channels I like. And I think we have a nice community going here. I like to call ourselves a community. Hope no one gets offended by that, as everyone's blah, 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 PC stuff. So, great time. This was a very enjoyable game. We'll be back tomorrow with another game. I think tomorrow's game is going to be, I believe, let's close this out, and I can tell you in a moment. And let's exit. Go to playoff. As I've lost my screen now, but I believe we're still up. I believe you can still hear me. Maybe the YouTube gods have censored me now. The next game will be to see who plays the Yankees. It'll be between Oakland and Kansas City. I think we're going to go with that game next. And then we'll finish off the National League brackets, probably over the weekend. So the game's coming up, and I think we're going to go Oakland, Kansas City, where Kansas City is the 2 seed against Oakland. Oakland is the 7 seed. And that game will be in Kansas City. And then we have St. Louis against the Dodgers in the National League bracket. The Dodgers are the 2 seed. St. Louis is the 7 seed. And then we still have the San Francisco Giants visiting the Philadelphia Phillies. The Giants are a 6 seed. And the Phillies are the 3 seed. So those are the 3 games remaining in the first round in the one and done tournament we're doing. And again, feel free to leave comments about ideas on what we've been throwing out there. I really want to do a tournament where I get you guys involved playing against each other. I think it'd be fun. So, and we will be doing a middleweight boxing tournament, we've decided, off the chat. I might just do 8 fighters, because I'd like to get the first one done pretty quick, and we can all enjoy it together if you're watching live. I pretty much do everything live now, because I found that's where I get my most views, and I get new people to join, to subscribe. So, anyhow, thank you very much to everyone. Greg Gorecki, Beatles Eternally, Andre Ford, Max Cornelius, the Bears, the Cubs, the Bears, Eric from Higher Ground Gaming, BB4 Gaming, and anyone else who's watched but did not jump in the chat. Next time, jump in the chat. We don't bite. We're very nice people. So, or just watch if that's what you want to do. Comment later. Health and happiness. Take care. Till next time. God bless. Bye-bye.